Our goal today is to map a little bit of TF's journey. So my name is Hugh Brewster. I'm the current Executive Director of Transforming Faces. I want to really congratulate you successfully that you've made it onto KikoChat. And if at any point you get stuck, then we will have people in the check-in and help desks. And that's probably where you started your journey today. They'll be there. They can help you. They can help you sort it out. Make sure that you're able to experience everything that KikoChat has to offer and get the most out of this brief time of perspective into what TF is all about. So whether you remember some of TF's earlier days or whether this is your first time hearing about what we do, we're really glad that you're here. And I do see a few people who have Cleft, Lip, and Palate in their own family who are checking us out. We're so glad you're here to learn a little bit more about that experience of the Cleft journey in places around the world. So as I mentioned a few seconds ago, along the bottom of your Zoom screen, there is something called chat. And I would invite you now to just write a quick greeting, just say where you're calling in from. And if you have a congratulations or anything else or a hello, please feel free to make use of that. We want this meeting to be as interactive as possible. So anytime, please feel free to write a note, but right now especially, please just say where you're calling in from, and that'd be great for the record, but also we can see just that we really are a bit of a global community gathered today. And I see that coming in. Thanks so much. All right, so we are glad that you're here. Courtney, tell us what we need to know, please.
Great, welcome everyone. We're so glad that you're here. It's great to see so many faces and lots of videos on already, but if you don't already have your video on and feel comfortable, we'd love to see your face. Please also feel free to use the reaction button. So along the bottom bar of Zoom, there's a button called reactions. And so that just helps to encourage people that are speaking, some of the impressions from our wonderful visitors throughout. And finally, if you do have any technical issues, I'm here to help. So you can just send me a message on the chat and I'm happy to help resolve that along the way.
Thanks, Courtney. So what are we up to today? Some of you who are particularly studious might have studied this already, but basically, we've made it through our check-in and compass points. Hopefully you've been oriented to KikoChat. You know where we're headed. We're going to spend the next 20 minutes or so really just talking a little bit about how we got to where we are today in TF and to get a little bit more of a perspective into our work overseas. After that, well then, you can journey with some of our partners in Latin America, some of our partners in Asia, and some of our partners in Africa, really asking some of the questions that you might have, hearing a little bit firsthand about the stories of the children and families that we support, or you might want to drop by the coffee room and have a virtual tea or coffee. Now, we were talking with Amelia earlier. For British people, maybe it's a tea at this point, or I heard a rumor about gin and tonics going on. They're not provided by TF, but that wouldn't be against the rules either. So we'll have about 20 minutes where you can make your own journey through the environment. And then finally, we'll return here for a brief closing plenary. We've got a video to show you, really short, but we think you'll really appreciate it. That tells a little bit more about our work, and then you'll be done definitely by 1 o'clock. Although there is an after party, so if you want to stick around, there's some games, there's some prizes, there's a chance to keep connecting even after the hour is up. So any questions at all, please feel free to post those in the chat, or you can send a note to Courtney as well along the way if there's any technical challenges. Your guides for today. It's a big list. We won't go through everyone, but just to say, this event was brought to you by some of these key people who are currently involved in leading the charge for comprehensive cleft care around the world. That includes our staff, our small but mighty team based in Toronto, Canada. The engagement committee has been really important in putting this together and figuring out how to move what we planned as an in-person event, two actually, one in Switzerland, one in Toronto, and now making it online. And again, it's been lovely to see so many of you make time in your day for this online event. We're incredibly grateful to our board members who continue to give really important insight, expertise, and accountability for what we're up to around the world. And then finally, our medical advisors. Dr. Brian Thompson, Tim Bressman, Cindy Guernsey, Farah Sheikh, and Karen Wong. All of them are connected either to Sick Kids Hospital, Cleft Lip and Palate Program, or the University of Toronto, many both. And they've been really important in shaping our approach to comprehensive cleft care and valued guides along the way. So all of us are welcome. You're welcome to ask us questions. In the Kiko chat environment, you can even just click on someone's profile and send them a note. So if you do want to ask a question of anyone here, they'd be delighted to hear from you and know what you're interested in terms of our work with Transforming Faces. We're also today really fortunate, which we couldn't have in a live meeting, even though potentially having some together would be nice. We do have some representatives from our partner organizations around the world. So you can see India, Myanmar, Thailand, Ethiopia, Chile, Peru. Argentina, we're super glad to have some representatives of the important work that's happening. And in that Around the World in 20 Minutes segment, you'll be able to ask some questions yourself and hear from them exactly about what's going on the ground during COVID and even beyond in terms of cleft lip and palate care. So where have we been and where are we headed? Well, if you see from this graphic, Transforming Faces was started officially in 1999, a partnership between Joe Jameson and Jackie Elton. Our first projects were in India, Lokmanya Tilak Hospital, and Professor Rupa Nagarajan, who you'll hear from a little bit later. She remembers those first early days. We also have the leader of the NWDF Cleft program in Thailand and Myanmar, Panawan Yudi, and she's from the very beginning as well. So as you can see, this journey began more than 20 years ago now, and some of these partnerships have lasted the test of time. And that really is something that we're celebrating today. And who better to celebrate it with than our co-founder, Jackie Elton. Jackie's calling in today from the UK, and I can use that reaction button now. If you are a personal friend or family member of Jackie, can you just hit that reaction button, give us a thumbs up so we can see exactly who Jackie's supporters are here. Oh, I see this happening. Yes, well done. Lots of thumbs up. Switzerland, UK, Canada, lots of friends, Jackie. Well done. Jackie, we would like to know a little bit what stands out about this journey of Transforming Faces from 1999 till today.
Well, can you hear me? I'm
Yes.
not on mute, am I? Good. Well, almost everything, really. I think what has been special for me with Transforming Faces has been the sheer number of people all around the world, and many of them are here today. And actually, you may not know all of them because you may not know their contributions, but there were so many doors that I knocked on and that were just flung open. People who just said yes and didn't say no. And it was like, you'll do that? Really? And that's been the driver for Transforming Faces. It just really took on a life of its own. The first thing I remember was that incredible documentary, which there are people here in this room that were on it, When to Change Faces, which I saw about a cleft team visiting Sri Lanka from the UK, and saw hundreds of children with untreated clefts in the early 90s, and the shock and the seed that it gave me that we needed to do something. And something really called out to me at that moment. And then, of course, my dear friend and mentor, Joe Jameson, who was then living in Toronto, who said, yeah, sure, she would take on the job of setting it all up in Toronto, leave her job at the United Church of Canada, and start work on her kitchen table, and off we went. And of course, she had this incredible network around the world that we could start with. And then going to Mumbai for the first time, meeting Dr. Tate in Mumbai, who just said, fine, yeah, come and see me. And really that was the beginning of all the incredible and wonderful work with Rupa and Suraj in India. And then my cousin, Peter Dianashi, no longer with us, who just gave up everything, just would give up so much time to mentor and advise me, and would even visit Toronto in mid-February, which is not a good time to visit Toronto for those of you who've tried it. And then, of course, meeting Esteban Lasso in Schiphol Airport, of all places, because he'd just been on holiday in Europe. And knowing that after reading about 150 resumes and endless interviews, we had found the right person to take us to the next level. And Esteban just won so many hearts in the many years that he was running TF. And just so many open doors in Latin America, in India, Thailand, and Africa, meeting so many wonderful, gifted, determined people who shared our dream of comprehensive care and had the competence and determination to deliver. There's nothing like the excitement of seeing plans, ideas, and dreams turning into projects and changing people's lives. So it's been humbling, challenging, and energizing. The TF staff teams, so many of them are here, past and present, are just extraordinary and capable people. And I'm really honored to have served with a wonderful board of directors who are brilliant and warm individuals. And finally, inviting Hugh on board 4 years ago, after a somewhat choppy period, was another very special moment, and knowing that TF was back on course. So TF has had, Transforming Faces has had a mysterious life of its own, and it's been a wonderful ride with, I hope, a long way to go.
Thank you, Jackie. Lovely. One of those milestones on the journey, as you mentioned, was really connected to Esteban Lasso. And so in 2017 or 2018, we named our most important award, the Transforming Impact Award, after Esteban Lasso, to recognize an exceptional contribution in the advance of comprehensive cleft care around the world. Recipients, including who we see here, Mohammed Al-Sadi, who was our first recipient. And now we're delighted to be able to award it again to another recipient who demonstrates an innovative humanitarian commitment to lasting change for children. And so this year's award winner demonstrates these qualities. He was the clinical director of pediatric intensive care unit at Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. Dr. Peter Cox changed lives of hundreds of children and families and helped train over 400 fellows from around 40 countries. So as a quick introduction to some of his contributions, we've got a very short video. Well, Dr. Peter Cox, it is quite a feat. Congratulations. And at each stage of your journey from Cairo down to Cape Town, it was just thrilling to see the comments of some of your colleagues, your neighbors, your friends, all cheering you on and testifying really to what an impact you've made in their own lives. And now what you've been able to do for comprehensive cleft care, raising almost $250,000 for our work. So I have two questions for you, Peter. First of all, can you give us just a glimpse? What was something super memorable about this bike journey? What comes to mind a year later as you think about your trip?
Well, I think there are a couple of things that come to mind. The first one is in the top right-hand corner of this picture. Riding over one of the rises in the Western Cape and seeing Table Mountain in the distance really choked me up. But the other thing that really struck me on the whole ride was basically bread, water, and work. We take these things so for granted. And as I cycled through Africa, the one outstanding thing that struck me was people spend their whole day fetching and carrying water. And that's almost across the whole continent. If you're not close to a river or a lake, you've got to go to a well. You've got to go to basically a tank that's been provided by an NGO. And it's a whole day's work, normally by women, sometimes with a donkey, but often with the water on your head. And then the other thing was bread. As you leave bread in Egypt, which is predominantly pita bread, you go through the sun-baked bread of Sudan, chapatis in Central Africa, and then down to the colonial white bread stuff you get in Malawi, Zambia, and through to Cape Town. Those are the things that really struck me. And then most of all are the smiling faces of just the millions of little African kids I saw. What a privilege.
Thank you, Peter. And obviously the extra emotion for your landing point, that's very close to where you grew up, correct? In Cape Town. Yes,
in fact, you can, with a bit of imagination, see the university I went to medical school at, just to the left of, to your left of Elaine's right elbow, just over there. Yeah.
Fantastic. Peter, lots of things you could have done with this amazing ride. Why did you choose Cleft Lip and Palate Care as a focus for your fundraising and for inviting your friends and colleagues to participate in this ride?
Well, as you said when you introduced me, I've been working in critical care for my whole career, and I thought it was time to do something transformative for healthy children. So I went to my friend Ron Zucker, friend and colleague of many years, to ask his advice. And I didn't want to work with a big organization where the costs of running the system were enormous. And he put me in touch with TF and with you and Carrie in particular. Over many cups of coffee, I learned and felt that this was absolutely what I wanted to support. Every penny that everyone donated went somewhere along the way to helping fix a child to get them to smile. What better way to do it?
Thank you, Peter. And we're so grateful for your support and for your eloquent encouragement. Amazing. Congratulations on your award. And for those of you who would like to hear more about Peter's journey, asking more specific questions than I'm able to in the time we have allotted, at 1 p.m. Toronto time, 6 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. Switzerland time, Peter will be hosting a meet and greet. So once we've finished our final plenary, you can go there, see more of his pictures, which are in the Kiko chat. You can scroll through an amazing Instagram feed of photos all the way along, really a glimpse of Africa that many of us don't get a chance to see, and then to hear a little bit more of Peter's reflections, also potentially of his wife Elaine, who joined him for part of that journey as well. So please stick around. And thanks and congratulations again, Peter. The next thing I would like to just to talk about very briefly is that comprehensive cleft care, the kind of thing that Transforming Faces really focuses on, is innovative in many parts of the world. You know, in a place where you spend the whole day getting water, as Peter mentioned, the idea of care that goes beyond an initial surgery still might be difficult to reach. I'm delighted to say that we have some innovative partners in India who are on the call today, including colleagues at Ramachandra University in Chennai, as well as with our key partner ABMSS, who've been working on introducing families and practitioners, clinicians, into what they can expect from comprehensive cleft care and what they provide. So right now we're gonna have a world premiere. No one's seen this video yet. It's not intended to be a fundraising video or a video for Canadian, UK, Swiss, American viewers, but it does give you a quick sense of what the experience might be of a family in India who's given birth to a child with cleft lip and palate and what they can expect. So this is a 2-minute video.
Cleft lip and palate affects approximately 1 in 700 newborns worldwide. Despite being a long process, cleft lip and palate is completely treatable. And with the right care, your child can have a full healthy life. Comprehensive Cleft Care, or CCC, will provide everything you and your child need along your journey. Many parents think that a cleft repair surgery is the only step to treat cleft lip and palate. Although surgery is an important part of the process, comprehensive care is the best way to ensure your child grows up to be happy and healthy. Comprehensive care means that your child will receive treatment for not only their physical cleft, but also the other health challenges caused by the cleft. It begins with newborn nutrition. A cleft can make breastfeeding very challenging, which may result in children being underweight and experiencing delayed growth. Your CCC center will provide you with the necessary orientation for you to feed your baby successfully. As your child grows, they will likely require other treatment to achieve clear speech, proper hearing, good oral health, and regular facial development. You will probably have a lot of questions about what comprehensive care is and how it works. Not to worry, you are not alone. Your team of CCC specialists will work together to determine what support your child needs and to guide you through each step of this journey. Choose to give your child the best support you can. It will make a lifetime of difference. Cleft.
Great. Well, that was our world premiere. I hope you you picked up something new about comprehensive cleft care from that brief video. But now is the time for you to ask questions or to offer commentary. As you'll see on the left-hand corner of my screen, we have a room with some partners from Latin America, a room with some partners from Asia, a room with some partners from Africa, and even a coffee room, which you can stop by. Each of those rooms also has along the top different information. We have stories of children who benefited from care, some information about the context for care in places like Africa. And you're welcome to leave this room and go check in. Imagine for a second that we're not online, but actually in a charming banquet hall. Each of these rooms is sort of like a booth on the outskirts of the room. You can stop by for 30 seconds or for 15 minutes, it's up to you. Or you can go and grab yourself a coffee or tea right now. We'll all be back here at 12:40 Eastern or 17:40 GMT to finish our time together. But we want to give you this opportunity now to explore. And in the coffee room, our members of our board of directors can be there. As Peter mentioned, you can be sure that funds given to Transforming Faces are getting to where they need to go. But I encourage you to ask our board the tough questions. Why are they still involved? Why are they volunteering their time? All those questions are totally on point if you stop by the coffee room where Jackie and friends will be there to greet you. If you do have any questions about what to do here, don't fear. We're here to help also. Rachel, can you give us just a couple more pointers about what's happening next?
Yes, so now you are welcome to meet our partners as well in room A, B, and C. They're highlighted here in this yellow circle. I do encourage you to move between rooms, meet with our partners, ask them questions, and engage with their stories. There's no set timing for this. You're just welcome to kind of move around at your leisure or explore the coffee room, as Hugh mentioned. I do encourage you not to all start with room A, lest it be flooded, but we welcome you to kind of move freely throughout those rooms for the next 20 minutes before we rejoin. And yes, if you have any questions at all, do feel free to stay here or go to the help desk at any time. We'll be there for you.
Thanks, everybody.